Welcome, Generals, to Community BattleCast PrimeTime. This is Sybert, your host for today. CommandCom is over and CBCPT was there, but now we're back and we've got intel directly from the front line. However, at CommandCom, we weren't alone, and I'm not talking about the tank. Yeah, they had a frickin' tank. Roughly 50 members of the C&C community were present, including representatives from Game Replays, C&C Saga, C&C Inside and United Forum, C&C and Zed, and many others. And I'd like to give a special shout out to all of the moderators from the official forums who were there. We'll link you to many different recaps done across various fan sites below, but for now, let's get into our coverage. First up, for any of you who didn't know, CommandCom is a C&C community summit that is hosted at GamesCOM in Cologne, Germany. We were invited to come out and play some alpha builds of Command & Conquer, provide our feedback, voice concerns, and talk with the devs. There were long conversations that we had regarding game design, mechanics, balance, and every other aspect of the game, including campaigns. But why would I tell you about that when I could let Sire do that?
Hello, my name is Eric Kraus, and I am the Global Community Manager for Command & Conquer. Well, with campaigns, we're trying to do a different approach. So we're trying to do an episodic approach where we want to go away from, oh, you have campaign A, B, and C, but rather have a world map where people can explore hotspots, how we call it, that are small, encapsulated, almost mini stories that kind of drive, the world rather than a faction. And that's kind of the overall goal that we are trying to pursue. Essentially, it will be seasons of those world maps, and each world map will tell a global story that obviously will involve all the different factions, but it will not be as specific to a faction. We're looking into doing smaller packs first. I don't have the exact number for our first pack, and it will depend in the future as well how well the first one is received. We just started to hire additional resources to help accelerate the process of making campaign missions in faster cadence. But all that is pretty much an open question, depending on what kind of challenges we run into in the long route. But we are committed to do it not just every 6 months or whatever, but rather in more short terms. Red Alert 3 had a co-op mechanic for the single player campaign. While it was a great idea, the problem was that even when you were playing single player on your own, you kind of were forced to play with the AI. And we don't want to do that. So pretty much you will have the choice to play alone without any AI next to you, or with a friend on the map as well, which will be pretty much an option for you to choose. My favorite unit in the game right now is probably the experimental railgun tank, because it's just... no, there's another one. It just came in with one of the generals. It's a laser tank, which I think it's pretty cool, and you guys probably will have a lot of fun with it.
We also had an interview with JVC, but someone didn't properly record the audio. Sybert. Oh wait. Anyways, if you missed the campaign announcement video, I don't know how, but you should be sure to check it out, as the official announcement video is pretty darn awesome. Of course, we weren't the only ones shooting interviews, and many fan sites got some really great interviews, which you would be silly if you did not check them out. And among the CBCPT team, I wasn't the only one who went. nodsoldiergirl was also there, and she has her own thoughts to share on CommandCom.
Thanks, Sybert. Well, when I first heard we were invited to CommandCom, I couldn't believe it. I was speechless. Had to take care of things before heading to the airport. This was a lot of firsts for me. First plane ride, first international flight, first time to a foreign country, and first CommandCom Gamescom. I had a blast meeting everyone who I'd been talking to for years in the community. Took lots of pictures, helped Sybert with interviews, and my big whoops for CommandCom was not recognizing Sybert. For some reason, I thought he had lighter hair than he actually did. Oops. Sorry, Sybert. Overall, it was a great trip. Lots to see and do, and with a lot of great people. I'm very happy to be a part of the C&C community. Thanks to everyone I got to meet, and thanks for having a good time with us. I would also like to thank all of our wonderful fans for helping us grow. You're truly the reason we do what we do. We wouldn't have gotten as big as we did without all of you, so thank you. I would also like to thank EA Sire and Victory Games for giving us the chance to participate in CommandCom. It was a wonderful experience, and I would be more than happy to do it again, so thank you guys as well.
On my own YouTube channel, you can check out my thoughts from CommandCom, as well as lots of footage from the builds that we played while we were there. The C&C team has also released their own recap with the awesome footage that they shot while at Gamescom. And of course, you can check that out at the link below. There's of course been tons of new intel coming out about C&C, from the development roadmap that was published to these premium features. One of the meetings that we had with the devs included a short presentation where they displayed an outstanding feedback slide, which was a partial list of the changes that were being planned based directly on alpha feedback. The other slide of interest was a roadmap that detailed the primary goals of the project until early January. Nowhere is beta specifically mentioned, and when asked, the devs really gave no firm answer for when the beta will be launched. The time frame that was typically thrown around at CommandCom was open beta by the end of the year, but that was usually accompanied by an asterisk stating that the game will go open when it's ready. Another point of minor controversy is the recent addition of the premium feature, which at Gamescom wasn't very flushed out, and even now it's not finished. The perks offered by the premium feature are in no way final and are going to be changing as new patches come out. If you missed any of the Gamescom action, you should be sure to check out the numerous videos that have been produced, including the many rips of the official EA livestream that was running. There's tons of footage of the Gamescom patch out there for you to check out if you're so inclined. Alright, now let's get to some non-Gamescom news, and the first of that being just a few days after Gamescom, EA Tobster, the monetization manager for Command & Conquer, has written a short article that explains the current monetization plan, including generals, perks, and the aforementioned premium. Shortly after Gamescom, a few videos that were released containing the early soundtrack for the alpha, and we don't know exactly how many tracks of these are final, but you can listen to the tracks that are currently in the alpha. Next up is that the development and management of Tiberium Alliances has been taken over by Easy Studios, a Swedish developer owned by EA. According to Giant Bomb, Easy Studios is likely formed out of a merger of DICE and EA Phenomic. The future of Tiberium Alliances seems to be safe, with new worlds being added on and maintenance still being performed. And what would the news section be without an update on Renegade X? There's been a quick update at the end of August that details some new weapon models, some remakes, and Hourglass is now going to be a snow map in Renegade X. Hit the jump below to check it all out. The last bit of news we have is more of just a tease, but it's from the official Command & Conquer Twitter, where the question of BattleCast PrimeTime returning was posed. This isn't the first tease we've had on the subject, but maybe one day it'll return in all of its glory.
Hey everyone, NSG here with a quick announcement. It's contest time here at Community BattleCast PrimeTime. Commanders, comrades, and generals, we want your best C&C fan art. You have 1 month to show us what you've got. What's up for grabs? Alpha keys for the new Command & Conquer game. Submissions will be voted on by Doomtanker, Sybert, and myself. So what are you waiting for? Email submissions to nodsoldiergirl@hotmail.com. Good luck, Commanders!
Alright, we're gonna have to cut the official news there. Let's move on to the mod spotlight.
Thanks, Sybert. And what is up, guys? Doomtanker here with your mod spotlight. And let's kick this one off with a quick update to Rise of the Reds, which has seen multiple press releases since our interview with them last episode. If you missed the extended interview, be sure to check that out as well. It contains 25 minutes of the original interview and a lot more information on those who are interested. The Rise of the Red team has still been working toward version 1.85 and have recently released new images and models, including the Chinese Shilong heavy flame tank. There are also some new wallpapers for you guys to check out too.
OpenRA has been updated once again, boasting over 1,100 changes. This update is something you need.
OpenRA now supports not only Tiberian Dawn, Red Alert, and Dune 2000, but the team has added support for Tiberian Sun and Red Alert 2. With cross-platforming multiplayer for Windows to Mac OS to several popular derivatives like Linux, OpenRA just keeps getting better. If you're itching for some classic C&C action, be sure to check this out as it runs best on modern machines. Recently, Red Alert FPS was announced by MPF Games, the same studio who created Tiberium Crystal Wars. The goal of this new project was to create a free-to-play standalone game based on the Renegade, but with every unit and structure recreated from Red Alert. If you think this sounds a bit similar to Red Alert: A Path Beyond, Well, you're not too far off. We'll have to see what the team decides to do to make it different than A Path Beyond. Eastern European Crisis, a total conversion mod for Tiberium Wars, was just announced a few weeks ago. To quote from their mod database page, the storyline of this mod tells about the conflict in Poland and Ukraine in the near future Europe. Conflict rises over rich shale gas deposits on the borders and for dominance over the frailing state of Belarus. I'm intrigued by the premise right off the bat. There's no China, US, Russia, European Union, or any other big players that the mod focuses on. I'm interested to see where they go with this mod and how they decide to use the premise. As I already mentioned, this mod was just announced, so likely it won't be released for some time now, but they already got some assets for you guys to check out.
Welcome to the BattleCast 3. This is Sybert back to bring you your 3 matches that were played at GamesCOM. First up is John versus Sybert. John is playing as GLA Nitro in the south, and Sybert is GLA Wild Dog in the north on the map Red Zone. John opens War Factory first to get out a fast terror technical, while Sybert goes for sandstorms to do some early damage. John drops his command center while Sybert snipes down 2 oil derricks and establishes his own oil derrick. John's terror technical harassment glitches out and does no damage. And a lucky kill with a sandstorm puts Sybert in the lead. John tries to put on some pressure, but Sybert's defense holds and John can't expand. With a superior economy, it doesn't take Sybert too long to build up a bigger army and roll over John's base. Game 1 goes to Sybert. Next up, we've got GLA Junkyard John versus EU Bulldog Sybert on Nile Delta. With John once again opens War Factory first and Sybert does the same. Both players follow up with Command Center and Sybert adds on a barracks. John takes several oil derricks and establishes a better economy while Sybert goes for a tech lab to unlock Aegis tanks. Sybert sends out scouts around the map and establishes his natural, but John has been building Marauder 2 tanks and gains an army advantage before taking his own natural. Sybert goes for a tech switch and drops an airfield to begin producing phantoms, and both players move to engage. Sybert is crushed by John's defense, and John's attack crushes an oil derrick before eventually moving in to snipe down the natural and main supply before finally being cleaned up. A counterattack with phantom helicopters by Sybert is met with well-controlled quad cannons from John, further crippling Sybert. Sybert tries to rebuild, but John easily smashes each army. With poor macros, Sybert doesn't stand a chance against the superior forces of John, and John takes the second game. Game 3 pits EU Dedalius Moby 3012 against GLA Junkyard John on Nile Delta. In this game, we've got Moby hailing from United Forum and John fighting for game replays. Moby opens Command Center first to ensure that John can't see through the fog of war, while John once again opens with a War Factory as Moby follows up with a barracks before his own delayed War Factory. John goes immediately for a salvage bay for the salvage repair upgrade and to unlock Marauder 2 tanks before getting his Command Center. John sends out a scouting worker, but Moby denies it while setting up 2 oil derricks and attacking with Humvees and recon squads. John holds the line and manages not to lose a single unit while establishing oil derricks and his natural expansion. Moby matches the expansion and both players are on equal economic footing. Moby gets an airfield and attacks with phantoms, but John has marauders harassing Moby's economy. Moby cleans up most of John's workers, but his next attack is met with quad cannons and black market artillery from John. Moby is staying on top of harassment, but John has got a scary army advancing on Moby's base. Moby engages and loses his ground army, but his air superiority allows him to crush John's army. Moby moves forward and harasses John's third, but John's artillery and quad cannons are too powerful. John drops a second War Factory and begins producing additional units, but Moby is only on 2 supply and can't match John's production. Moby drops a second airfield, but John is able to destroy it while defending back home from Moby's land and air forces. Even Moby's huge air force gets annihilated and John manages to take another victory. That's your 3 for this episode.
Hey everybody, it's NSG, and I've got you some fresh fan art. So let's get to it. First up, we have a long GDI soldier is reconning a Nod base in our first pick from Reptile Sinric. Aw, Chibi Kane just wants the Tiberium in this cute pick from Handclaw. Nakantria brings us this nice Nod militant cosplay. Another amazing render from Aircraft Killer, this time of a Tesla coil. The next bunch are all from Overlord of You, suggested by Pedro K on the official C&C Facebook page. Very interesting concepts for cyborg units for the Cabal faction.
That wraps up another episode of Community BattleCast PrimeTime. Remember, if you want to check out anything that we discussed today, it's all in the links in the description. Feel free to leave your feedback in the comments below or on the forums, and if you've got any news, mods, matches, or fan art to share with the community, just send them our way via nodsoldiergirl's email or my own, nodsoldiergirl@hotmail.com or sybert.replays@gmail.com. For nodsoldiergirl and Doomtanker, I'm Sybert. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
No, he's not. He's just rolling. He keeps rolling.
I was really hoping you would just stand there awkwardly, but it's not working as well.